Well, that was a ride. How's it going, fellas cinephiles? This is Dominic from Film Overload, the channel where we talk about movies, pop culture, and everything in between. And this is my video and my review of the second movie that I saw at my double feature that I went to this afternoon. And that is the newest film in the Sam Raimi verse, Evil Dead Rise. This is a continuation of the franchise, following its 2013 predecessor, I believe, called The Evil Dead. And this movie is quite the interesting one, in my honest opinion. Now, I have to admit, I had to quickly brush up on my Evil Dead knowledge before going into this movie, which is no issue because I really enjoy the franchise. Army of Darkness being personally my favorite film of the bunch, but this movie is a really interesting continuation of the franchise. A movie that feels familiar, but also relatively new, which is why I think it worked with a lot of people. And for me, it worked too. I really thought that this movie was actually a pretty solid horror movie. Once again, the story will feel very familiar if you are indeed a fan of this franchise. A group of characters stumble across the book, and everything goes wrong when they stumble on the book. And that's one of the things I wish this movie would have done a little bit differently. However, every single movie that we've gotten from this franchise kind of has the same kind of structure, the same backbone, if you will. And I think I was hoping for them to kind of veer off into something new, which would maybe catch my attention a little bit more. While watching the film, it felt very familiar. I know I keep saying the word familiar, but it's true. If you are indeed a fan of the franchise, this film will feel very familiar, which kind of disappointed me slightly because, again, I was hoping for something a little bit different when it came to the storytelling. I wish maybe the writing would have been a little bit stronger as well. The writing was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. You could definitely tell that Sam Raimi had his hand in maybe influencing the script just a little bit, but I really wish the writing would have been a little bit stronger. And because of the writing, it really hurt the main characters. The main characters just really seemed really hollow and really thin and not much meat on the bones to any of them at all, which made me really go, I really don't care about these characters, and I could care less if all of them got hacked to pieces, to be honest with you. They were just kind of lifeless and just kind of standing around, just waiting for something to happen to them. And yes, I know in horror movies, the main characters or any characters really shouldn't matter that much because they get hacked to pieces anyway. But I really wished for a little bit more character development in this movie before all the craziness that happens throughout the course of the film. Alright, moving on to the main highlights of this film for me personally. The first main highlight I want to mention is the jump scares and the kills. I really enjoyed the jump scares in this movie as well as the kills. They were really perfectly timed, in my opinion. The jump scares and the kills were just brutal, in my opinion. Some of the kills and the way they happened were just like my stomach twists and turns, and it just was cool to see. Though some of the, I know it sounds weird, but it was cool to see just the creativity behind all of the chaotic kills that this movie has that I won't go into because of spoilers. But the kills were really solid, and that paired with the jump scares, which again were timed really, really well, really made it for a really eerie, really ominous atmosphere. The second main highlight of this movie, for me personally, was the fantastic job that the hair and makeup team do in this movie. Guys, this movie is full of blood. And when I say full of blood, I mean full of blood. And the makeup team goes all out in this movie. They really, again, capture the true horror of this movie and the story and what the story is trying to tell. the makeup team really played a big part in just making your stomach twist and turn throughout the majority of this film, and I really loved the jobs that they did throughout the course of the film as well. So shout out to the makeup team for really creating such a gut-wrenching atmosphere. So shout out to the makeup team for really creating a really gut-wrenching atmosphere, and one that you can really kind of hide behind your hands almost, because some of the makeup jobs in this are really realistic, which made for a really chilling time. Overall, Evil Dead Rise is a solid film. I wouldn't say it's a great film, but it's a solid film. It wasn't great. Again, I do wish we got more character development and character growth throughout the course of the film. I wish they would have veered off a little bit more with the story and the backbone behind the story, create something new, but they stuck to the book, and I really understand that, and it worked. It worked for a lot of people, and it worked for me too. I was just disappointed personally by their lack of going further with the story, maybe doing something a little bit new with the story, and that personally kind of docked at points in the end. So that's it. And if you liked what you see here, guys, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and turn on the post notifications so that you guys can get notified every single time I post a video. You can follow me on Letterboxd, which is right here. I post all of my movie reviews on Letterboxd, as it helps me keep track of movies that I have watched, movies that I haven't watched, and movies that I will watch. And I think you guys would benefit greatly from this app and this website if you are indeed lovers of cinema like myself. As always, guys, happy movie watching. Take care.